Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another video about Ford versus GM versus Tesla revenue. This time, let's talk about how these companies are doing. You know, if you read the earnings releases from Ford or GM or Tesla, they all reported record revenues in 2023. But what's that mean exactly? How good is their record compared to their past track record? If you look back, I don't know, 8 years, if you were to chart them all side by side on the same scale, what would that revenue look like? Well, I am here to help, friends, along with my co-host Loki, who is curled up in bed sleeping, making me do all the work, as I share with you my desktop where you can see I have a spreadsheet depicting precisely the graphic visualization I just described. This is how much revenue Ford, GM, and Tesla have made in each of the past 8 years. Shown side by side by side, I have the revenue here on a $150 billion scale. None of these companies have had a $200 billion revenue year yet. So that's why there's no $200 billion marker along the y-axis. And then along the x-axis, what you see is for each of these companies, each fiscal year. So, for example, Ford in 2018 had a little over $160 billion worth of revenue. GM in 2018 had $147 billion worth of revenue. Let's look at Tesla in 2018. It was $21 billion worth of revenue, way less than $100 billion, which you can see on this horizontal line running across all of these charts here. Tesla last year made nearly $100 billion. Every year, Tesla makes substantially more revenue than they made the year before as a percentage. So not only was 2023 a record revenue year for Tesla, all 8 of these and several before them were all-time records for Tesla's corporate annual revenue. GM can't say the same. They've had a tough couple of years. The worst 2 years on both of these charts for these companies were 2020 and 2021, when there was COVID and some supply chain challenges and chip shortage challenges that they blamed these terrible years on, where they dipped down to 127 billion, 136 billion, 122 billion, 127 billion, etc., right? So which one of these has the most favorable trend, would you say? Gee, let me look. Uh, so Ford's 2023 revenue was $176 billion. That's only a little better than they did in 2018, 6 years earlier. GM did have records not only in 2023 but also in 2022. 156 billion was a record for them. It still wasn't as much as Ford posted in 2018, but close. And then in 2023, 172 billion. That is a lot better than the 147 billion they had in 2018. But the slope on these, if you were to draw a line through these, a best fit average on both of these companies, you would barely have a line past horizontal for the trend. When you look at Tesla, what you're seeing here is significant growth every year versus the year before. So this is the company that you would want to invest in. Let's say, all things being equal, the company that's growing their revenue the most consistently over the longest period of time may have something going right for it that the other companies don't. And not trading advice, do your own research for entertainment purposes only, etc. With that, I will check back in with Loki, who is still curled up in bed sleeping, and let you know that there are more videos coming in this series. I'm just doing one chart per video this time. This was the revenue chart. Next, we'll talk about profits. And then after that, we'll talk profits per vehicle. So special shout out to my executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, and I'll see you in the next one.